All right, welcome everybody to another You Are Happy show with Melanie and Wokurka. It is part of the World of Ability Podcast Network. Special thanks to Marcus Hart, Jay Stoyan, Zach Clayton, and Lawrence Wingate for replaying the show on their platforms. So I'm going to bring Miss Melanie in here. To kind of get us started for today. So Melanie, what are we gonna talk about today?
Yeah, so today it's stress month, stress awareness month. So let me ask you this, Emily. Did you know that stress is actually the number one cause of heart attacks?
Not sure, but I guess I'm not surprised that it's either the top or one of the top things. So
Right, it's the number one cause because stress causes so much chaos inside your body that actually causes heart attacks. So think about like if you're not financially sound, if your family is causing trouble or chaos in your life, or your significant other is causing chaos in your life, if you can't or don't want to get to the gym, all of that causes this chaos inside your body, right? Which causes stress. Well, the chaos inside your body actually can damage your heart as well. So when they say, take a deep breath, it does have calming effects. So I'm a fitness professional. I've been in the fitness field for over 33 years. So fitness was always my main way of getting rid of stress. It's always my main way. But what I realized when I got older, that my stress and anxiety was still there, but I disguised it with fitness. Like that's how I released it, but it was always still there. For instance, like one of my anxieties is when people are over at the house, I have to keep moving. I have to keep moving. I have to keep moving. I can't sit still. If I sit still, I get really anxious. So I just keep moving. And I didn't realize that was my anxiety of having people inside my space that I necessarily wasn't comfortable with them doing. But the thing is, in that situation, can you just breathe? Probably not, right? Right. Probably not. I mean, it definitely gives you a calming effect, and there's ways of doing it. So, such as when people tell you to meditate, what do you think of as meditation?
Probably like a few different things, like either like listening to like calling music or reading something out of some book or even just like taking a walk in nature and like noticing like stuff around you and that kind of thing.
Right. So meditation is supposed to bring a calming effect to your body. Right. So you brought up a great point, like taking a walk in nature, but that's not actually what they're calling like meditation. And one of the reasons that meditation is so important is when you're in an extremely stressful situation. We'll use an airplane, for instance, right? When you're flying in an airplane and all of a sudden hits turbulence, and your body starts going crazy. And I know I've hit some crazy turbulence over this time where I
especially if it's really bad turbulence, then
right. How are you supposed to at that moment calm yourself down? Right. So practicing mindful thinking that actually calms your body and your mind down is actually what meditation is. So it's not in its stillness. It's learning to do it in stillness, bringing your body to total stillness for a period of at least 10 minutes to 30, 40 minutes a day, to where you're doing mindful activity to calm your body down.
Okay.
Easier said than done, right? Especially when you're in a lot of turbulence. But it needs to be practiced. I remember I practiced it when I was teaching yoga with my friend, I'd have extended Shavasana. That's what Shavasana is, right? I'd have extended, but I would make them think of different things during that meditation that brought them joy and brought them happiness. So for instance, when you lay in total stillness, you should be grounded to the earth, right? So instead of palms up, when you're doing it, you want palms down because the earth has this grounding effect on you. It has an effect on you to where, well, you heard of was that mechanic, the energy in the earth, right? How the earth gives off energy.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of what you're feeding off of there. So you want to make sure that you're something out. If you're in an airplane, just put your feet on the ground, right? Being grounded. But then think of things like the ocean that brings you peace. Think of that walk that you were just talking about. What is around you? What brings you down? Now, the important thing with when you're doing meditation, if your body can't calm down or it gets to the anxiousness, you have to somehow learn to release it. Or even during that times of turbulence, your anxiety is just going to go up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And then you're going to get to that point of a panic attack where you just want to jump off the plane instead of being, it sounds funny what you do. You want to jump off the plane instead of being in the plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you just say stuff like, that is not a thought that I want to think of right now. And then try to go back to what you were doing. That is not a thought I was thinking of right now. I need to release that thought. I need to release that thought. I need to release that thought. And just keep repeating it until it goes away and brings you back to calmness. Now, some days this is easier than others, but practice it. So when you come to a situation where you are so overwhelmed with anxiety that you can't think of it in front of your face. People who have autism get this very often to where you'll see them when they're shaking and they can't come out of it, right? They have to find ways to release it. Sometimes with them, it's with medication, and sometimes it's with herbs, and sometimes it's with breathing. And that's where all of us can get. So for instance, there is a herb out there called saffron. Have you heard of saffron?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But the saffron that we put on our food is not necessarily the same saffron that you will use for your anxiety levels. It's a different compound. It's a different, saffron's very expensive. Saffron's very expensive. And I found out why it's so expensive. So these flowers, saffron flowers, right? That are the flowers that have saffron and it only bloom once a year. And it's for a very short window. And then they have to pick the stamen out of the middle of the flowers. And that stamen is your saffron. So, but different saffrons from different regions do different things. And they can also take a genetic part of the flower and try to reproduce that to make it in less and less potent. So people say, I tried saffron before and it doesn't work. It's probably watered down because it's super expensive to get. So saffron has actually, and there's studies out there, been known to be as effective as Ritalin. So it has a calming effect on you that is as good as Ritalin, only it's not a drug. So the reason this comes back around to stress, and we'll get into sleep too, is because you need something to have a calming effect. And sometimes your breath work will work, and sometimes it won't. And you need something different to help you just come down a notches. Well, there are herbs and different antigens and adaptogens out there that do help you, but you have to realize that you have to go with a reputable distributor of the herb. And that is what reputable companies like Amari do. We work with reputable distributors. The scientist behind Amari takes the like saffron, for instance, test it, make sure that that compound is going to be okay. And when it is put with another herb, that compound still has the same potency that it's supposed to have. And they do that by scientific testing that you should be able to, it should be available for you to see as well, and not just kept to themselves or say they're kept to themselves. If you try something like that and it doesn't work, it might be watered down. So it was something that was very, very interesting that that I was studying. I'm studying to be a mental wellness coach, and I always have turmeric. I love golden milk and turmeric, but turmeric never, like when I got it at one of the juice stores, never did really what it said. I just kind of like the taste of it, but it's supposed to have an anti-inflammatory. Well, an anti-inflammatory to me is within like an hour, half hour actually, I should be feeling a relief in my joints, right? A relief in my pain within my body. And I wasn't. I actually have not found a turmeric that works like that. If you have to put turmeric and black pepper together, it is actually, and this is according to Dr. Sean Talbot, it is a lower grade of turmeric, and it may not be as effective. I thought that was extremely interesting because turmeric is all out and all over there. But again, it depends what part of the turmeric that you're using too. If you're using the whole turmeric, if you're just using the turmeric root, you can go get turmeric root at the store. But how long has it been harvested? How much of the potency is still there? There's just so many different aspects to this, that was super interesting. So on another aspect of stress relief, how much sleep do you get a night, Emily? How's your sleep patterns?
Probably at least 6.
That's not bad. The average 6 is okay. The average is 7. 8 is the best.
Mm-hmm.
So getting 8 hours of quality sleep, not what happened this morning to the entire state of Florida. I don't know if you heard about that or not. We got our emergency alert, the entire state of Florida, at 4:30 something this morning. Our phones all went off.
Oh, jeez.
So sleep is so important, but a lot of times it's hard for people to get into a deep sleep. The sleep that is actually needed in order for your whole body to recover. So again, I'm going to refer to what Dr. Sean said. It was really, really interesting, really cool. So when we sleep, our brain has a shrink and expand, right? It shrinks and expands as we sleep. But if we don't get in our deep sleep, it can't do that. And what it's doing is it's actually pumping cerebral fluid down our spine and regenerating the brain, right? It's regenerating everything. I had no idea that this came in deep sleep. If your body cannot regenerate itself, it causes chaos. It stops the signals from your brain, from any part of your body, your heart, your gut. It stops the signals and it induces inflammation inside your body. So that's why they said it is so important to get sleep. Now, when you think of, I got to get sleep, what's the number one enhancer that you think of? What do people take to sleep?
Can't think of it right now. I think I know what it is though.
Melatonin, right?
Yeah, I know. I knew that. It was like on the tip of my tongue.
So did you know that there is not a non-synthetic version of melatonin?
I think so.
A non-synthetic version of melatonin does not exist.
Right.
So when you're putting melatonin inside your body, it is telling the melatonin that is naturally produced to stop.
Well then.
And you no longer produce melatonin inside your body.
Well then.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I was like, are you kidding me? One, there's no non-synthetic version of that, right? So there's nothing, you're putting fake ingredients inside your body. Then you're putting an ingredient inside your body that that is not recognized. It actually shuts the natural production off. I was like, what else are they going to come up with? And why most of this do we hear it from? TV. Now it works, but it also most of the time does not put your body in that, and I forget what it's called, but that sleep to where your brain expands. It was a big word. I have it in my notes. Expands and release. It doesn't put your body in that state. So a lot of times when you take melatonin, you wake up in the morning feeling not rested. Most of the time. So sorry, I forgot to turn off my phone. Make sure you do it at night so you can sleep, right? So you need to feel like you're rested. You need to feel like your body has recovered. If not, that can lead to inflammation. It can lead to stress, non-stress resiliency. But what out there do you take, right? Because I remember my grandma always talking about warm milk before bed. Have you ever heard that? Have a glass of warm milk before you go to bed. But it has to be a full fat milk. Because your body needs that full fat in order for the melatonin to be activated. So what Dr. Sean suggested before you go to bed. Now, most of it, like I fast every day. I only eat from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. But he says if you are restless in the middle of the night, and restless, what I'm talking about is I often, in the middle of the night, will jump up for no reason. I will not be able to go back to sleep, either forever or for just like a half hour, or whatever. I'll be fighting myself to go back to sleep. So what he suggests is you have a full fat yogurt with some berries on top, or you have, like I have a little almond butter with some berries on and some honey on top of that, and just a cup, nothing big, but it needs that to activate your melatonin. He also developed a product that had corn grass, but it's non-GMO. It's all on my website. It's baby corn, and it has the same genetic, I don't want to say mutation, but the same genes as wheatgrass. So it actually has a calming effect of you to go to sleep. So I've tried that where the berries, and I have had for the last 4 nights, and I have actually not woken up. I used to have to wake up, I'd fight myself, and I'd lay down, I'd try to do meditation, I try to do everything you said, I try to put my feet in the air, I try to, and my body just wouldn't go back to sleep. Now, another thing that we want to make sure that you do is if you lay down to go to sleep and you can't sleep within a half hour, you get up. Your body's not going to be able to go into that restless state. Get up, do a few things. Then when you become tired again, lay back down and try it again. So all of this can lead to very, very, very high stress level, very anxious the next day, very not calming, very unfocused, and it can lead to health issues down the road. So a couple different ways just to reduce your stress is, right? Don't take the melatonin.
You're right.
Do mindful breathing. But mindful breathing, you're on the ocean, right? You're on the ocean. You're feeling that sun beat down on you. You know, you're in your cozy chair. You're hearing the ocean waves crash up and down. Mindfulness, you know, that's naturally, if that's something that naturally calms your body down, let your body naturally calm down that way. Two, find a great alternative, but really research your products that you're taking. Go beyond Google. Google is not going to do it. You actually have to research the company or the brand of, there's different types and brands of saffron. There's different names for saffron. You actually have to find out the name of the saffron they are using and then research that. That's how far back it goes, because these companies are not regulated. So you really have to take charge of it, or find a reputable company like Amare that is so mission driven on bringing you the best natural ingredients out there and will put everything in front of you that you need to know. Like if you said, where is the saffron from? I will tell you, saffron is harvested from Mexico, or our saffron is harvested from Spain. You know, I could tell you exactly where these crops are coming from. They also are tested, but they are tested for heavy metals and impurities. They are, and another thing that you really want to make sure is that they pay fair wages. So I'll tell you this, and then we're going to end this show. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me at youarehappygirl.com. I'll say it again, you and an R, happygirl.com. So another thing you have to be very careful of is they can say that their product is organic, non-GMO, third-party tested and everything, right? But what if the plot next to it is from another company that sprays Roundup? It's getting into your food. Those chemicals are still there. But when they put their plant in the ground and they make sure they're not, everything is still in the air. So you really have to be careful. And that's something that Amare is very picky about. If they go in and they look at the crops, and if the plot next to them is doing something they don't like, they won't even secure that land. And they keep making sure that's actually in the contract. So yeah, hope you learned a little bit about stress resiliency today, Emily.
I did, about, especially about the couple of the products. So
yeah. And then I should be having my mental wellness coaching done by the end of the week. And then I'll be able to be a mental wellness coach, which means I'll be able to guide you even further on your mental wellness journey, mental, physical journey.
oh, congratulations on becoming a coach.
Thank you. It'll be fun.
There too here.
It'll be a lot of fun because my years of fitness experience, and then bringing proper supplementation, and just trying different aspects of lifestyle into it. I've obviously diet's lifestyle, but you got to make it a lifestyle. You can have the bad, but you got to put the good in there to combat the bad.
Yeah.
So, all right, Emily. Well, thank you so much for today. I so appreciate you. And until next week.